Hey guys, welcome to the stream. If you're new here, my name's Brian Craig, and you'll love this stream if you're new. If you love Trump, if you love politics, if you're interested in news, this is the YouTube channel for you. I'll be taking some calls if you want to call in. I have pinned the call-in number to the chat room there that you can call me live on the stream. We're going to talk about a lot of things today. Of course, is it the Russian-Ukraine war? Is it the Ukraine-Russia war? What are they calling this war? I don't really know, but we're going to talk a lot about that and a whole bunch more. And actually, Kathy and I, my wife, we watched a really good documentary on Putin last night that was on Fox Nation. And it was really good. It was about 30, 45 minutes or something like this about his entire life. It was really quick, and Brian Kilmeade hosted it, and they just kind of threw it together. But if you have Fox Nation, you should check it out. You'll learn a lot about Putin. And, the question I keep asking myself is, why do we hate Russia so much? I'm not approving of the invasion of Ukraine. I want to be clear about that. I'm not approving of that, and I feel sorry for everybody over there. But for those of you that don't know me yet, my position is basically this is an internal conflict, like a civil war, and there is no side for the United States to be involved in, or NATO, in this war. I am not on Truth Social yet. Someone just asked in the chat room. My wife is. She put her Truth Social handle in the chat, and she just got on Truth Social late yesterday afternoon, and she got an email and a notification that her profile was ready, and she had signed up on Truth Social on President's Day, the first day, at about 7:30 in the morning, and I signed up, finally was able to, because I couldn't do it in the morning. I tried hard, but I was finally able to get on around 5:30 in the afternoon. And so I'm hoping today my Truth Social will be available to me. My Truth Social is there. My profile's there because my wife followed me on it, and a couple people did that. I just coincidentally found it, but I do not yet have access to it. And Devin Nunes, who's running Truth Social for Trump, says by the end of the month, everyone, just whenever they feel like it, will be able to sign up and get an account. But I'm hoping today. Believe me, when I'm on Truth Social, you guys will be the first to know. Maybe my neighbors, because I'll be jumping up and down with excitement. And believe me, I'll tell you what my handle is after I have access to it, even though I've seen it. And I don't have a picture up there or anything yet because I don't have access to it. I was just able to set it up. Well, again, welcome, and I'm just going to jump right into it. And we're in big trouble in this country. We're in big trouble in this country. Biden is checked out. On top of being checked out, he's incompetent. Even Obama said that Biden was incompetent, and he's also corrupt. And I'm not sure which of the problems with Biden is the worst problem, but being checked out with the cognitive decline, being corrupt or incompetent, I don't know which is the worst of the three, but maybe being checked out. And if you remember in the State of the Union the other night, he referred to the Ukrainians as Iranians the other day. And this is a very scary moment with Biden. This is a TV interview that he did. Listen to this. I mean, this is really, really frightening to me. You got to now keep in mind, Joe Biden, President of the United States, has the nuclear football, right? He's in command of the most powerful military ever known. He is guiding the world during a crisis war situation as to what's going to happen. It's up to this guy whether or not there's a third world war or not, really, based on what he does. And listen to this.
How do we get to the place where, Putin decides he's going to just invade Russia? Nothing like this has happened since World War II. How
Yeah. He just said that Putin invaded Russia. Now, everyone misspeaks. I misspeak, you misspeak, we all misspeak. But it's rare. What's rare with Biden is when he does not misspeak. And when he's so checked out that he's messing up the two countries, how can you at all say that this guy is up to running the country? And the Republicans, of course, after the red wave and the Republicans take back both houses of Congress, there's talk of impeachment. And impeachment, if we win back the House, we can impeach him. It's just a simple majority. Removing from office, well, that's a whole nother deal. But Kamala Harris should be impeached too. And she should be impeached because she very, very well is breaking the law herself by not invoking the 25th Amendment. Joe Biden obviously is not cognitively up to the task of being president of the United States. And, they don't talk about this now in the media because they don't want to point this out about Biden. But always, except with Trump, when a president comes into office, they age. They age a lot. Even Obama. I remember Chris Rock was telling this joke about Obama. He said he came in looking like a young guy. Now he looks like Uncle Grady, right? It was a Sanford and Son. Right? And that's true. And every president ages a lot due to the stress and everything and the responsibilities. And Biden didn't have much in his cognitive abilities that could get worse. So, his cognitive abilities have declined so much. And, we see these little tiny moments like this. Those that are around him, they see some really scary stuff when he's really off. When he does an interview like this, they got him pumped up with Red Bull or whatever they do to give him energy. And, when he's just going through his day, they don't have him pumped up on whatever they pump him up on, like in this interview. So they see him when he's checked out all the time. And I'll let you guys let me know in the chat. If you're watching later, let me know in the comments. Do you believe that Kamala Harris should be impeached because she has not done her constitutional duty, and that is invoke with the cabinet the 25th Amendment and remove someone from office who's clearly not with it? And, an impeachment doesn't remove anyone from office. But, the Democrats got rid of a president and a vice president, and they didn't even impeach them, right? Think about this, Nixon. I was talking about this a couple weeks ago on the stream, and Rachel Maddow was talking about Spiro Agnew, who was Nixon's first vice president before Ford. And I didn't realize that. I mean, we all knew that what happened with Spiro Agnew. We all knew what happened with Nixon, but I never really put the two of them together. And what happened here, and now that we have all these years and you can look and see what happened, the Democrats wanted to get rid of both Nixon and Spiro Agnew. They didn't want him to be president. So they investigated him, found something, embarrassed him into resigning. He wasn't impeached. And then after that, they went after the president, Richard Nixon. And, that's what they did. So it is possible. And, having a president this checked out in the time that we're in now, this isn't like the Clinton era, when all the tech people are inventing things and things are going well and everything's exciting. This is a dangerous time we're in right now, an incredibly dangerous time. In fact, we are closer to a conflict with Russia than this country has ever been, greater than even during the Cuban Missile Crisis. And he's out there saying things like this.
How do we get to the place where, Putin decides he's going to just invade Russia?
Wow, Putin decides he's going to invade Russia. And Kamala Harris has a responsibility here. So that's why I say they both should be impeached and removed from office. And I know, the Speaker of the House, I'm not a big fan of Kevin McCarthy, but he's better than this. I mean, this is really scary. You guys think it's scary? Now, I was watching, gas prices yesterday here in Florida where I'm at, and I know prices are different where everyone is. It's a different price. And if you're in California, oh man, you're in big trouble. If you're in California, there's no getting around that. But in my area.
Nothing like this has happened since World War II. How do we?
Yeah, I know. Nothing like this has happened since World War II. That's when he first went to Washington. Gas prices have just broken $4 for regular unleaded here. And, I mean, that's incredibly high. Here in Florida, we're a peninsula. We're surrounded by oceans. All the oil comes by ships right off the coast. It's not like it has to be transported that far by truck. And that's why it's a little less expensive in Florida than it is in other places. And our taxes are lower, too, than they are in a lot of other places. But it's over $6 a gallon for regular unleaded at some gas stations. McCarthy would be speaker if we retake, and he would become president. If Biden and Kamala were removed, McCarthy would become president. That's what I was referencing McCarthy for, Shlomo. But anyway, the gas prices, I mean, they're getting worse, going up, and there's no end in sight for gas prices. This is just the beginning, right? I mean, there's no end. They're going to continue to go up. No one in power in the government of the United States is doing anything to bring them down. Psaki just said the other day they think this is a good thing because they can use this as an opportunity to get us in all their green crap, right? Get us in electric cars and everything, which are ridiculous. I mean, and that doesn't save you anything because the electricity is powered by oil and coal and all kinds of other things from the power plants. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, gas prices are going to continue to go up and up and up and up, and it's a pretty scary thing. There's a guy on YouTube that he's not political. He does like day in your life YouTube videos, and I don't have him queued up here, but I'll if I can find it during the show, I'll put it up. If not, I'll post it on Twitter or Truth Social if I'm on Truth Social today. But there's a YouTuber I watch in Russia, and he's just a regular guy. I've watched him for quite a while, actually, before all this stuff, because what he does is he just does like a day in the life of Russia, and he really shows he's just a regular guy. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's got a wife and a baby who's one, and he'll like go to the mall in Russia and show you what the mall's like in Russia, or he'll go to the grocery store and show you what the grocery store's like in Russia. And I find it's interesting, and his English isn't that great, but he said he learned English from watching old movies and old American movies, but it's okay enough. But he did a video yesterday where he went to 3 gas stations in Russia. And, of course, they use rubles, not dollars, and they sell gas in liters, not gallons. But he did the conversion on what gas cost a gallon in Russia. And I was blown away at what gas cost in Russia. You know how much regular unleaded is in Russia? $1.70 a gallon. The most expensive he found was $1.80 a gallon. The most expensive. Can you imagine $1.80 a gallon? For regular unleaded, $1.70, though, is what the other gas stations were selling it for. It's a pretty good deal, isn't it? $1.70 a gallon. That's, well, it was lower than that when Trump was president here, right? Because I know I filled up my car on Inauguration Day on my way up to Mar-a-Lago, and it was $1.50 something a gallon. And I noted that in my mind because I wanted to see how gas prices went up during Biden. It was like $1.57, $1.59, but it was $1.50 something. But right now in Russia, $1.70 a gallon, and here it's $4 a gallon. In some places over $6 a gallon. $5 a gallon is hitting all over the country, including parts of Florida if you don't buy the regular unleaded. So, I mean, that's insane. So why is it so cheap in Russia? $1.70 a gallon for gas in Russia. You know why it's so cheap? Because they're not stupid like our leaders are, and they're not importing. They're using their own resources. That's why. Jeff in North Carolina, welcome. If you guys would like to call in, you're welcome to. I put the number there in the top of the chat. It's 561-453-0328, 561-453-0328. You can call in live on the stream, and we'll talk, all right? And I pinned it, the phone number right there in the chat. But our leaders are corrupt and stupid, and they're also beholden to these green lunatics And it's just it's ridiculous. It's so stupid. And this war that they're pushing us in. I'm was watching a little bit. I went out and got my coffee right before the stream, and I was listening to Fox. And they are pushing us into a war like no one's business. And you got to ask yourself why. Why are they doing this? Now again, full disclaimer, I do not support the invasion of Ukraine. I got to keep saying that because they want to keep calling. If you disagree with the mainstream media, they're doing a new Red Scare, right? They're doing a new Red Scare. If you believe that the United States and NATO should not start World War III with Russia, they say you're pro-Putin, you're supporting Russia, you're not patriotic, and all this stuff, okay? But I know, isn't it insane? But they're pushing us. They were pushing pretty hard, I thought, on Fox News Channel this morning into going to war with Russia. And you really got to ask yourself, why is that? Why is that? And it's pretty obvious, isn't it? We just got out of this 20-year war on terror, which because of Biden, we lost, right? We won the war, and then Biden lost it for us at the end. Can you imagine? Unbelievable. But we had a 20-year war with Afghanistan, and, these military-industrial contractors, they're donors to these corrupt politicians in both parties, by the way. And they want it. So they're pushing the politicians into it. And, television news, they make money on this too. These companies this hat, by the way, was given to me by Wisconsin Gary. Wisconsin Gary sent me a MAGA care box a couple weeks back, and this is a hat, which is a really cool one, and it's got President Trump's signature there on it. See that? It's a pretty cool hat, isn't it? And it's a high-quality hat, too. I'm going to see President Trump, by the way, on the 19th, right here in South Florida. That's right. I ordered a new Trump T-shirt that I'm going to wear when I go to see President Trump on the 19th, so I'm not even going to wear it here. Oh, we got a call. Let's go. Hello there. You're on the stream live. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. It's Dee in Florida.
Hey, Dee. What's up?
Hey, I wanted to ask your opinion on Kamala Harris and the invoking the 25th. Whose blessing do you think that she needs to get to even bring this situation up?
Oh, that's a good question. You mean like who's her handler?
Yes, because, we are talking about a regime here, and whether she wants to do it or not, I think she's way too afraid, too fearful. So what is she afraid of?
I don't think she has a handler because I think they have her sidelined so much, they really don't care about anything she does. I just think somebody at the White House tells her what to do at any particular time. But I agree with you. Yes. She's scared. Yeah.
I think she's scared, too. I know I would be. But I'm just curious, how do you foresee this actually ever happening?
Oh, Kamala, it won't happen. She won't do it.
Okay.
It'll never happen. It'll never happen because she gets those presidential daily briefings every day too. She knows more than we do, and I think that would scare anyone, especially someone who's not qualified to be there.
Yeah. Now, you also said, too, that if the midterms go well for the Republican side, they could impeach him, but removing him from office is a whole other deal.
Yeah.
How do we do that?
No president has ever been removed after an impeachment. You need 3/4 majority in the Senate to remove.
3/4 majority in the...
Yeah, well, 3/4 majority.
Well, what if we have this massive red wave and we have 3/4 majority?
We won't because only a third of the Senate is up for re-election. So even if we won everything, we wouldn't have and that third is not all Republican. So we're not going to have a 3/4 majority. So
Okay, so that's not going to.
But Biden is declining so much that it's only a matter of time before he eventually has a moment on television where he's completely lost and forgets why he's even there.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about presidents aging. I was looking at a picture or a video of Biden last year, maybe 18 months ago. I absolutely see a big difference, even a year to 18 months ago. But when you think about President Trump, I don't see the aging there. I don't see the aging because he's completely in control of what he was doing.
Well, because he wasn't stressed.
That's what I'm thinking.
Running a big company like he did all those years is a pretty stressful thing. So he's used to making decisions every day. Most of these people that come into the presidency, especially if they come from the Congress, they've never done anything in their life.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking when I thought, look at President Trump after 4 years, and look at him now. He looks spectacular.
He may even look younger. He may have even de-aged.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I was thinking too. Is that this guy was absolutely in control. That was no problem. Remember, somebody asked him a question and said, "What was the most difficult thing about running being president?" Mm-hmm. And his answer was, it was dealing with the swamp. He said, not running the country. It was dealing with the swamp. Sadly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Dee. Well, thanks for calling.
Thank you for taking the call. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks a lot. All right, Dee. I think that's Dee's first call on the live stream on the weekend. So welcome. Yeah. The number's right there at the top of the chat. Yeah. No, Kamala Harris, what I told Dee, I don't think she has a handler. She has been completely sidelined. And, Kamala Harris, I think, has a lot of regret for taking this job. Vice presidents are all forgotten. I know Fox News is trying to resurrect Pence. In fact, I got something from on Pence a little later. But, what's going on with vice presidents is they leave office and that's it. They're pretty much forgotten, And Kamala had a pretty good deal. She would have been in the Senate for the rest of her life as long as she wanted to be there, and would have been on TV and would have been an important person in all this. And when the Biden administration is over, she's going to retire in obscurity. She might, she'll get these fake jobs with this company or that company or some organization, but her political career will be over. And I think when she first took the nomination for vice president, I don't think she realized what was really involved in it. I think she thought it was like everything else she did in her life. She just walked around and things happened and everything was taken care of. And then I think she got the job and gets those briefings, and I think it scared the hell out of her. And she's got a lot of regret, and she's terrified. A normal person would. Someone said they paid $4.13 a gallon for gas in Miami. Oh, my goodness. This I saw this interview. This guy here, Maxim from Dancing with the Stars. You guys ever watch Dancing? We used to watch Dancing with the Stars. We have not watched it since Tom Bergeron left, and it got all woke and everything over there. But Maxim, this guy, he is really like the coward of the country, not the coward of the county. That was Kenny Rogers, right? Maxim is like the coward of Ukraine. I mean, he really made a big mistake here. He's Ukrainian, and he was in the Ukraine when all of this happened. Let me see. Let me get this queued up. And he, of course, escaped and said he was humiliated by escaping. And this guy Maxim, they're getting all this publicity in Ukraine about what's going on. He's Ukrainian, and I think he thought in his mind that. Hold on, let me cue it up, and I'll play you this interview with him. I almost felt bad for him. Almost, not really, but almost felt bad for him. Hold on, let me cue it up. Okay, yes. He's talking about his escape from Ukraine. Well, I'll pull it up in a second. Hold on, guys, hold on. I hit the wrong button. It happens sometimes. What are you going to do? Let's see here. I'll have to click it and hit it again. Hold on. I hope he's not the typical Ukrainian. I mean, he's like the opposite of... well, let me take a call while I get this queued up. You're on the stream. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. Okay, there we go. Hold on. You can call back if I disconnected you. Okay, hold on. I'll play it for you here in just a second. Here we go. Hold on. I got to play an ad first. It wanted to play an ad on it. That's what happened.
For a fact, because I get into these cry moments. I'm emotional. I can't control it. I cried on the way from from the airport. I felt embarrassed. You know, I felt embarrassed the entire ride back because I was the only man on the train amongst all women and children. But I felt like things got real, and all of a sudden I don't actually have all of the things needed to feel safe in this place at all. I'm not built for this at all. I'm just realizing that
I'm just a dancer.
I'm not in the place where I should be.
What was that like when you do get to the train station? What was that scene? What did it look like?
Horrible. It was horrible. It's horrible. I realized after we took off, right? I'm not skipping, but after we took off, I realized that all the people that didn't get in have to now sleep in right there in that train station. It's not heated. It's just a giant building. It's cold. There's kids everywhere. Kids everywhere. I'm dying inside because this is still like a, you know, very emotional stuff for me. There's kids everywhere, babies everywhere. It's a negative the temperature.
Is there any guilt you even feel for getting out or wanting to?
I feel guilty. I feel bad. I feel shamed. I feel upset.
Yeah, but
I know for a fact because I get into these cries.
But he's not. He doesn't feel bad enough to go back. And you know this guy. Okay, let me tell you. Okay, he's a dancer. We'll click on the call. He's a dancer with Dancing with the Stars, and he thought this was going to propel him to some more Dancing with the Stars stardom, and he has come off like, yellow, right? I mean, he's just a complete coward, and he should feel humiliated. You're on the stream. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Jill.
Hey, Jill. What's up?
Hi, I'm from Canton, Ohio.
Hey.
I have a question. For you.
Mm-hmm.
What does Trump think about the Civil War? I don't know, and I'm wondering, since you are in the know, I figured maybe you would know.
What do you mean, the Civil War with Russia and Ukraine?
Yes, that's what I'm questioning.
Well, he has not said that it's a civil war. I'm saying that. I'm saying.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. To say, and it's not. I mean, technically, it's not a civil war. Ukraine's been an independent country since 1991.
Right.
But it used to be part of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the Soviet Union, the USSR, and Putin's position is that this is a civil war. But the reason this happened is because Putin had to go now, because Ukraine eventually was going to become a part of NATO. And I was talking at the beginning of the stream on Fox Nation. Brian Kilmeade has a documentary on Putin. Yeah, it was very interesting, and I watched it. And picked up a few. It was kind of hurried and thrown together real quick, so it's not the most high quality production. But I picked up a lot of stuff about Vladimir Putin and that, and he has for years and years and years, even before he was president, been talking against NATO. And a lot of people may not know. But I know most of you do, but some may not. So I'll just say that NATO was formed by the United States. In fact, General Eisenhower was the first. He actually put together NATO for President Truman, and it was to be the European alliance against Russian aggression, because at the end of the Second World War, Russia had a lot of conquered territory when they were fighting the Germans. Right. We gave everybody their country back. Russia held on to everything, right?
That's right.
NATO was the Iron Curtain, Winston Churchill, the Iron Curtain. So NATO was to combat Russia, which at the time was on the move and were holding on to their territory, and they held on to it as long as they could. And so he's grown up hating NATO. And he did this because he knew that eventually Ukraine was going to become a member of NATO. That's why I say he had to do it now, because if they were a member of NATO, that would be going to war with the entire alliance, which is the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, France, all of them.
Right.
And that, to me, shows that he has no intention on going further. You watch Fox News and all these warmongers that are on cable news and these politicians. Well, what if he goes into Poland, which is a NATO country? Well, he hasn't gone into Poland. And I think the fact that he went into Ukraine now shows us that he does not have plans on going after any NATO countries.
I hope not.
Well, what do you? Why would he do that? Why would he do that?
Maybe he's insane. I don't know.
What makes you say Putin's insane?
Well, just the things that I've heard, I guess the things that I've watched on TV, and I shouldn't listen to them totally.
They say
I
he's
guess.
insane. Let me tell you. By the way, Wesley, $10 super chat. Thank you, everyone. Please thank Wesley for that $10 super chat. The media tell us he's insane all the time.
Right.
I have not seen a psychiatrist on television telling us he's
Well,
insane.
that's true.
And there's
That
a
is
reason
true.
for that. There's a reason for that. No credible doctor will diagnose a patient as insane without examining them, without meeting with them. You
Right.
know? And so who's calling him insane? Condoleezza Rice? Fox News?
Yeah.
Oh, and I
Right.
see I've met Putin. I know Putin, and he's a different man.
That's
maybe,
right. That's what I've been hearing.
But that doesn't mean he's insane.
No, you're right. It's just, I'm in the pot of listening to all these people that I think know stuff, and I'm just
what do you what they know is these
like Condoleezza Rice and Fox News. I really shouldn't put all my eggs in one basket, I guess.
I wouldn't put any
thing.
eggs in those baskets. These
Yeah,
are the people,
you're right.
Think about it. Condoleezza Rice, Fox News, these are the people that lied to us to get us into the war in Iraq.
Right.
And that was a complete lie. There were no weapons of mass
Yep.
destruction. Now I did not know that. I believed Bush. I believed
I
Cheney.
did too.
I didn't know
I
that
did
they
too.
were. Yeah, I didn't know they were liars and war criminals
No.
and everything else. I believe them, but Condoleezza Rice and all these people that are telling us that and I've been talking about this a lot this week. And those of you that already follow and subscribe to me have heard me talk about this a lot. Putin. They're treating Putin like you would treat Gaddafi or Saddam Hussein. Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein did not have nuclear missiles. Russia has the largest army in Europe. They have a navy.
Right.
They have more nuclear missiles than the United States has, and their nuclear missiles have all new uranium because Hillary Clinton gave it to them when she was Secretary of State. They have space-based abilities. They even have, I know we've got SpaceX now, but they have military space-based abilities. This, when you're dealing with Saddam Hussein or Gaddafi or one of those types of people, they don't have any of that. And they're pretty isolated. They don't have resources. Putin does.
Right.
And they're talking about him like he's one of these petty dictators. Maybe he is insane. Maybe he is a dictator. We just lost the war to Afghanistan. These are guys that were getting around by donkeys and horseback, and they beat us. We lost the war.
I know.
After 20 years. So how are we going to go up against Russia?
I don't know. That's really scary.
It is scary. And you talked about Trump. President Trump said the other day in an interview with Maria Bartiromo that Russia has an alliance with China. And they're also a nuclear power with space-based abilities, the largest army in the world, and they have a navy too. So, you put Russia and China together, that we're outmatched in the United States. We could not beat both of them.
Exactly.
And why should we? Why should we? I was talking. This is. I get really aggravated here. This is how World War I began. Why should we go to war over Ukraine? I feel sorry for the people in Ukraine, the loss of life and everything. This coward though on Dancing with the Stars the reason I played that guy from Dancing with the Stars, because a lot of you guys, who cares about Maxim? That guy's about 6'5", big guy. He's Ukrainian. He's in Hollywood now. He came back to Hollywood. He's trying to get a TV job again. He won't even fight for his country, but we're supposed to get involved?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, listen, thanks for calling.
Thank you so much.
All right. No, she asked some very good questions there. She asked some very good questions. You can't assume, don't assume that everyone understands everything that's going on, because it depends on where you get your news and information from. And if you're getting your news from Fox News, you're in trouble here. If this guy from Dancing with the Stars won't stay behind and support and fight for his country, why should we be supporting that? Why should we be involved in that. And if we can't beat guys on donkeys and horseback, the Taliban, how are we going to have any hope of anything against Putin? It's just not going to happen. By the way, thanks everyone for joining me this morning. I do appreciate it. The coffee's just kicking in. I got my coffee late today. I woke up early to do the stream, and I went in late on the couch to watch the news, and I fell asleep, and I usually get up and get my coffee, so I'm like an hour behind on my coffee. That's why I started the stream a little later than usual this morning, because I just got home with my coffee right before I started the stream. So if you're new here, please subscribe. You will definitely love the content here. Monday through Friday, I live stream when I'm on the radio for 3 hours. I also I take live calls from radio listeners then and those watching on YouTube. I upload my podcast with my wife, Kathy, here. And on the weekends, I live stream from my studio here. And you're always welcome. And if you click that notification bell, you'll get a notification when I upload new content. I wanted to show you guys a couple things here. Let me pull these up. This is, yes. What happened on The View. You know, there are certain things. Let me scroll. This is the Gateway Pundit. Let me scroll down. We don't need to see that lady with her feet in the thing. Now, this is just me, okay? And maybe you disagree. Maybe somebody else disagrees. But there are some things that I just think are just in bad taste and inappropriate to do. And this is one of them that they pulled on The View. Now, this guy here with the Don King kind of hair, he is on Joy Reid's show on MSNBC pretty much every day. Anytime I see a clip of Joy Reid in the news, he seems to be a regular guest. And he was on there with the ladies of The View because he's got a new book out. And, of course, he was attacking the Constitution of the United States. And they knew what he was going to say. They knew what he was going to do because he had been... Do I have the video of it? Let me see if I can find the video, because I thought I had the video, and now I don't see it. They took the video down, it looks like. Let me see here. Maybe I've got another story that has it, because I am pretty sure I have that video. Yes, I do. Okay. It's here, I believe. But this is one of them. Maybe ABC took the video down because it made them look so bad. Let me see here. No, that's not the story. I might just have to read you the article. But that's okay. I can read. Let me go back and see if I got it, though. I thought I had that. Oh, well. Let's see here. There's just sometimes, liberals in this age of Biden have been doing something that I think, yes, I got the video. Okay. What Joe Biden has done, he's done one good thing by accident for us. He's given these wackadoodle radical liberals the guts to come out of the closet and share how they really feel about everything. And I welcome that, okay? Because I don't think people realize how bad liberals are and what their true view is about our society and our country. So listen to this guy. Now, this guy, oh, yeah, she's another beaut. She calls herself a Republican. But there's just certain things that are inappropriate, in my mind, to put on a major network television show, and this is it. Listen.
Some will say, okay, so are you arguing for throwing out the Constitution? Should the Constitution be thrown out? What do we do? Is it a living document? Or is it a sacred document?
It's certainly not sacred, all right? The Constitution is kind of trash. Now, let's just
The Constitution is kind of trash, he said.
Talk as adults for a second.
What did you say? It's what?
It's kind of trash.
Trash.
It was written by slavers and colonists and white people who were willing to make deals with slavers and colonists. They didn't ask anybody who looked like me what they thought about the Constitution.
Wow.
Some will say, okay.
Wow. I mean, isn't that scary? That's scary. I can't look at her, so let me take that.
So
off
are
the
you
screen.
arguing?
Yeah, no, he's not arguing. He's just saying it. And, that is so insane to me. First off, they knew what he was going to say before he went on The View, because I've seen him on MSNBC, on Joy Reid's show, on some clips saying the exact same thing to her. So they had him on, Anna Navarro. Yeah, she has not missed a meal, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. Inflation at the grocery store hasn't slowed her down at all, Anna Navarro. But this guy right here, okay, you might just think that he's a clown. He's not. He's a mainstream liberal-minded person that are whispering in the ear of Joe Biden about who should be on the Supreme Court of the United States. Good morning. You're on the stream live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, Brian, this is Will from Arizona. I called a couple weeks ago.
Hey, Will.
I was the cyber guy.
Okay, what's up?
Do you remember?
I do, yeah, I remember.
Hey, just a quick... You remember? Well, I've had a little time to do some research because about a month ago, as 2 weeks before I called the last time, I was turned on to your show by, let's just say, a friend of an enemy of a friend.
Oh, my God. That doesn't sound like a very good recommendation. Was he recommending me, or was he saying you got to watch out for this guy?
No, they just want me to take a look. I mean, I didn't have any opinion one way or another, and I don't really care what their opinions are. I find my own opinions, just like you do, right?
Yes.
And so I've been watching your show for a couple weeks, and I found it somewhat interesting. You and I agree on a lot, and you and I disagree on some things.
Somewhat interesting. Not really interesting, just somewhat interesting. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, well, let's just face it. I mean, it's not like you're in Ukraine doing war coverage with live footage. I mean, that would be very interesting. Radio shows.
I could put Ukraine on the green screen behind me. Would that make you feel better?
Well, well, maybe not. It wouldn't make me feel better. Let's just say that. It just make me sad. That's all.
Yeah.
But let me just say something, because I think it's something you need to hear. When I said a friend of an enemy, I don't really consider this person an enemy. They're more of a competitor. And after doing some research and digging deep and doing the things that I do, I found out, and is your wife listening to the show?
I don't, if you, what, are you going to get something personal?
No. Well, it's not personal. It's just something that I've become aware of, and I wasn't sure of it until I dug deep into the whole thing.
I don't even know what you're referencing, but I'm not going to let you do that on this stream, because I don't know what you're going to say. You're going to bring up something that might harm my wife. I'm not going to allow that.
No. It doesn't have anything to do with harming anybody. It's more informational.
No, I don't.
It's probably going to.
It'll probably.
It's probably helpful to you. It's probably going to be helpful to you.
No, I don't think so. I mean, when you ask me, what is my wife listening? What does that mean? No, I don't think so.
Well, because hold on. Before you hang up on me, after doing a deep dive in what's been going on with you and Steve, and I think that's why I said I wanted your wife to hear it too. I've come to the conclusion that why are they investigating you? That may make some sense to you now.
Who's investigating?
Why are they investigating you, Craig? Brian.
That?
You already call it the deep state. I just call it normal government investigation.
I'm not under an investigation.
Okay, well that's fine. Denial works for me too, because I do it all the time.
Okay. So you're telling me that I'm under government investigation, and you have access.
No, not government.
Well,
not government investigation.
Who's they?
Government investigation is different. Who's they? They are people who are willing to pay to find out information about people. And digging in, I found some very interesting things. I believe, I'm not positive, because I don't have confirmation, I don't have copies, I don't have anything. But I believe someone who does investigations privately has been looking at you for a while.
Okay.
And I believe, and to make this real for you, I believe this individual might have sent you, because it's his MO, and if you know what MO is, it's his MO to send patriotic love letters. Does that make any sense to you? You don't.
No, it makes no sense. I have not received patriotic love letters, whatever that would be.
Okay, so you haven't received anything. Now the other issue is, a few months ago, because I've listened to all your broadcasts. Well, I've looked at the transcripts of your broadcasts. You probably didn't even know people keep transcripts. You probably don't even know that people have transcripts of your broadcasts.
I have been doing this since 1991, before there was an internet. So I assume, I've been on the radio since 1991. So that's a long time, right? It's a long time, 31 years. So what I tell people all the time is this, and this is true, and I tell this to people that are new that in this business, on the internet too, that do things on the internet, podcast and other things. I always tell people, whenever you're talking, whether it's online, on a podcast, on the radio, assume that everyone everywhere hears it. And a lot of times people are like, oh, you're kind of arrogant. You think everyone's listening? I was like, no, but whatever you say publicly, assume that everyone is going to hear it. So,
correct.
And that includes transcripts. All right.
Okay, so let me get back to it. A few months back, because I did the research on it, a few months back, I'm not exactly sure the exact date because I don't have it in front of me. An individual called into your show and said he was going to go on a cruise with you to watch you, and you got freaked out by it, and you cut him off or something. I'm not sure what happened. Is that true or is that not true?
I'm not going to answer your questions.
Oh, I'm just curious because I don't know this person personally. I know of them. Yeah. I know of them. And I know that I know. I'm just trying to help you out here. Do you even, since you're not under investigation, we'll go hypothetical. Do you know why someone might want to investigate you? Just a guess.
Because they have a lot of time on their hands?
Not really. It's about money, but that's fine. You can say money.
I didn't say money. I didn't say money. I said because they have a lot of time on their hands.
What if I told you I came across information that led me to believe the reason why this hypothetical investigation that you're saying is not happening happened because when they interviewed the people that you called the Washington, D.C. Gitmo, your name popped up in the conversations during the interviews.
Oh, okay. All right.
Would you believe that?
I would believe that my name has come up in people's conversations, but I'm gonna let you go now.
You really okay? I'm just trying to help.
I know he's just trying to help me. Everybody wants to be on the radio. Everyone wants to have a YouTube channel. Everyone wants to have a podcast. Do you really? Do you really? This is the kind of stuff you got to deal with when you're in this. It's just part of being in the public life, That's the way it is. That's the way it is. And, unfortunately, I'll tell you, what's going on with that caller. He called in a couple weeks ago, and I guess the call didn't go the way you wanted. And sometimes when you're talking to people on the phone and you are having conversations and the call doesn't go the way that they want it to go, they want to come at you and they have a hard time getting over it. And I have done, over the years, I have said things on the air that I wish I wouldn't have said and didn't come out looking the best in a particular call or a particular moment on the air. And what I've learned, this is what I've learned. Like the call that he called in a couple weeks ago, I remember that he called in on the stream a couple weeks ago, but I don't remember the content of the call. Whenever you call into a program or you're doing something, on someone else's stream or something, and it doesn't go the way you want, just move on and forget about it because most people will. And the only person that will remember it is you. So if you move on and forget about it, everyone else will too. Now, I want to take a moment to tell everyone about the Thomas Edison of sleep. That's right, the inventor of the MyPillow, Mike Lindell. And if you go to MyPillow.com and use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, you'll get incredible deals. And this screen, when you go to MyPillow.com, this pops up, and you'll save another $10 off here. If you go through this offer, you'll save another $10 off on the incredible savings that you'll get with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And there's a lot of great specials here, and there's an opportunity that I want to tell you about. If you go down here to Radio Listener Specials, you'll see an incredible offer, and it's a two-part offer. And it's with the MyPillow 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. And my wife, Kathy, and I, we actually have four sets of these. We've got 2 regular and 2 flannel sets, and they're 100% Giza Cotton. They are spectacular. And with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, save 60% off, as low as $39.99. But here's the extra offer. Now, again, you got to go to the Radio Listener Specials for this. When you click here and take advantage of this, you can get a free copy of Mike Lindell's autobiography, From Crack Addict to CEO. What Are the Odds is the title of it, and it's a great book, and the cover of it is really amazing. You'll see when you get it. It's kind of a holographic cover of the book, and you can get Mike Lindell's autobiography, What Are the Odds, From Crack Addict to CEO, for free with our promo code KANE when you purchase the 100% Giza Cotton Dream Sheets that are just $39.99. Now, there are a lot of other great specials and deals there, too. The MyPillow My Slippers. I'm wearing my MyPillow My Slippers right now, 50% off with the promo code KANE at checkout. And that's an incredible deal. The ones I have are these right here, the tan moccasin ones up at the top right of the screen, and of course they have many different styles and colors for men and women, including pink, and 50% off the promo code KANE with the promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E. And here's another incredible deal. There are many specials here. I'm just highlighting a couple. But the MyPillow Body Pillow, which is a MyPillow that's the full length of the body, normally $117.97 with our promo code KANE, just $39.99. So it's a great deal. But again, this is, you go to MyPillow.com, click on the Radio Listener Specials, and this is a limited offer to get the free Mike Lindell autobiography when you purchase the Giza Cotton Dream Sheets with our promo code KANE. That is a limited time offer that will disappear without notice. So go and take advantage of that while you can. Promo code KANE. Jill Williams, $5 super sticker. Thank you, Jill. And everyone, please thank Jill Williams for that. Oh, boy. All right, so let me get back to some of these issues. You hate talking on the phone, which is why you never call in. Well, that's okay. I hope we can take MyPillow stuff to Gitmo. Now, they should have MyPillows everywhere. Every hotel room should have MyPillows in them. There's no doubt about that. Yes, thank you, Jill. Everyone, please thank Jill for that super chat. And by the way, if you're new here, please make sure that you subscribe and click the notification bell as well. And everyone, like the video, if you don't mind. That helps a lot. Spread the word on YouTube about my channel to people that are not already familiar with it. I wanted to show you guys a couple of things here, which really is just, this is a crazy thing. This is live crime taking place in the mall, and no one seems bothered by it, including the person that made this video. Now, looks like a fancy watch and jewelry store at the mall. Watch this.
It's nuts. You see that on the news.
Yeah, someone's breaking into a jewelry store at the Galleria. Right by
Valiani Jewelers.
What is it?
Valiani. Second. Going into JCPenney's.
They're going into JCPenney's now.
Wow. This crime wave, I know a lot of people will say, well, there's always been crime. What's the big deal? What's the big deal? This is a very big deal. And we've got a new situation going on where the criminals have lost fear of cops. And, the criminals, there's a couple things that are going on in here. Hopefully, the lifting of mask mandates will help with this. But the mask mandates, no one loves mask mandates more than criminals because the masks let them always wear masks. I mean, I remember the first time I went inside the bank, at the beginning of the pandemic when they first opened up the inside of the bank, and they required a mask. And I'm in line in the bank. It was the first time. That was in the Galleria Mall in Roseville, California, that video. I have some other crime videos I'm going to show you here in a second. But I went into the bank, and everyone was wearing a mask, including the guard. And they had an armed guard inside the bank, and he removed someone from the bank because they were not wearing a mask when they came in. And I was in the bank, and it was insane to me. I think I made a YouTube video that might be on my channel, but it was a couple years ago by now, a year and a half at least. And I said to myself, my goodness, if this were a few months ago and you came into the bank with a mask on, the security guard would be stopping you. Now he's stopping people without wearing a mask. In fact, you can't go into a bank prior to this with a cap on like this and sunglasses, because a cap and sunglasses mess up the facial recognition. And I've gone into the bank prior to COVID. I've gone into the bank because I wear hats a lot and sunglasses because I'm in Florida and it's sunny. And I've walked in and they'll tell you at the door, we got to take the sunglasses off. Sometimes they'll say the sunglasses and the hat. And now but when the masks came into the bank, it's like a strange world, and criminals love it. And I remember they brought back America's Most Wanted last year. I don't know if it lasted. And we watched the first couple episodes of it. And they showed some crime that just happened. They had video of crime that had just happened, and they put a still shot of the suspect that they were trying to identify on the screen. This is true. This was on America's Most Wanted last year. And it was a woman wearing a mask, because everybody had to wear masks. It was a crime in New York. And I thought, what a joke. Now, hopefully, we're getting away from that. Now, here's another one. Now, this one is in Miami. This is a Walgreens in Miami.
You gonna get him. They're gonna get him. You going to jail, buddy. You going to jail. Have fun. Stay outside. They outside. Let me go. They outside.
Okay, yeah. I mean, this is a Walgreens in Miami. Now, apologize for the language. Now, this one turned out a little better, though, because they got this guy. Miami PD, Edgewater, that's a suburb of Miami, recognized the shoplifter, and he was taken into custody. So they got this guy in Miami. But this crime wave that's going on in this country like this, is happening for a couple of reasons. It's happening for two reasons in particular. One is George Soros. And, George Soros, and this is very relevant to what's going on in Ukraine with Russia. George Soros, about 10 or 15 years ago, started backing people running for local public defender and prosecutor jobs, state's attorneys, and local communities throughout the country, including here in Florida. And there are state's attorneys and other officials inside these different local agencies, including police departments, that are there because they were backed by George Soros. And it's really, I know, it's insane, isn't it? It's an insane thing that's going on. So that's the one reason. And the second reason is, with these incidents like George Floyd and others, it was a tragic incident, but what that's done is taken the fear that a lot of criminals have of police officers. So you've got George Soros backing these no bail people, right? That includes BLM and other things. When I say Soros, includes a lot of things. You've got these prosecutors that won't prosecute. You've got criminals who have lost the fear of police because if police come in, they're in all kinds of trouble. The police, not the criminal. They're allowed to wear masks, which hide their identities while they're committing this crime. And you've got all these factors that the liberals have brought in that have just led to this rise in crime. But the biggest one of all is, if you just wanted to summarize it up a little bit, is that criminals do not have fear any longer. They don't have fear of going to jail. They don't have fear of being arrested. They don't have fear of doing time. They don't even have fear of staying in jail for a few hours or overnight, even if they get arrested on the weekend when the courts are closed because there's no bail. And this really started with George Soros supporting these radical types to be state's attorneys. And the reason I bring that up is because with what's going on in Ukraine right now, last week George Soros came out and said that the United States and NATO need to back Ukraine. And you got to ask yourself, well, wait a minute. When is George Soros ever been on the right side of an issue? Right? When has George Soros ever been in favor of doing something and it was a good thing? Jacqueline, $100 super chat. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. MAGA Strong. That's right, MAGA Strong. Everyone, please thank Jacqueline for that $100 super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Everyone, please thank Jacqueline for that. So why is George Soros, who's responsible for this crime wave that's been going on in America for the last 2 or 3 years, even longer than that, but the last 2 or 3 years it's gotten really bad, right? Remember what was going on in Washington when Trump went over to the church and everything. Why is he angling to get the United States and NATO on the side of Ukraine? And what juice does he have to get that done? Right? You know, and that's really got to get you thinking. And you know, if you think we should be involved in this Ukraine-Russian war, that should be something that gives you a little pause, that George Soros thinks we should be in favor of it. I don't know what his angle is, George Soros, but I do know this, that if he's in favor of doing something, that's reason enough to be against it, right? Wouldn't you all agree with that? By the way, if you would like to call in, please do. I did pin the phone number to call in at the top of the chat, 561-453-0328. And I found this video that I just thought was so strange, and I wanted to share it with you. This is from Libs of TikTok, which is a very, very must follow. You know, this gender business. This gender business. I mean, it's gotten out of hand. This is a guy who is telling us that dogs do not, and I guess this wouldn't be just dogs, this would be all pets, that pets do not have a gender, right? That gender is a human construct which does not apply to animals. Listen to this.
So, quick discussion. Do you believe dogs have gender? Now, I'm tempted to say that the automatic answer is no, because gender is a human societal construct. So naturally, that shouldn't apply to dogs, because dogs are not human. Any of the gendered characteristics that we apply to male dogs and female dogs are just an extension of our own human constructs of gender. But then, on the other hand, I think dogs do have society in a way. They descend from wolves and a basic type of pack structure. Otherwise, humans wouldn't have bonded with dogs, because humans and dogs / wolves are both social animals. So if dogs are social animals, do they have social constructs like gender? I really don't think I can answer this question.
Okay, I know. This is insane. See, you know, I know we're the country that sent men to the moon. I don't know if we could do it today. I tell you, you know, this is insane. I mean, this is completely insane. And see what they've done now. We have two generations. Millennials are now like almost 40. So we have millennials and the generation after them, which is Gen Z. And gender no longer has to do with genitalia and things like this. It has to do with however you're feeling and things like that, okay? So what that...
Quick discussion.
No, we've discussed. We've heard enough from you, Guy. I'm sorry. I don't know what your preferred pronouns are. You did not tell us in the video, so I got to be careful. This is why in Florida they had that bill that just passed here in Florida that it was being promoted by the media and activists as being an anti-gay bill. But what it really was about was stopping the discussion of all this gender stuff that's going on in schools. And by the way, it only applied to elementary schools because I don't know how many genders are. I've heard people say that there are over 80 genders. I don't know what the official number is on that. But there are a lot of people that are very confused in this country right now. And they are not drug addicts. They are not drunks. They're your typical liberal, millennial, Gen Z member in our society. And we're in a lot of trouble. And the reason we're in a lot of trouble is because no one is standing up to them. No one is standing up to them. I mean, they're just, having their way and whispering in Biden's ear. If they have, yeah. I know. I mean, it's like that swimmer who he came out yesterday and said, I am woman. I should be able to swim with the women. We're in a very confused state right now. And, without Trump as our president, there's no strong male role model or leader leading us away from all this stuff. And that's, but I'll tell you, I think most people think this stuff is crazy. It may seem more mainstream than it is because the media is so woke and television's so woke and they keep all this stuff going. But I think most people are pretty wise to this. They want attention, Lord. Yeah, when the internet was new, we never envisioned the social media aspect of it. And there's a lot of strange people. They get on TikTok and everything else. And when they get on TikTok, they get an audience and and a lot of crazies get on there and say things. But this type of discussion, like we just heard with that guy, makes its way into classrooms all over this country. Because if you follow Libs of TikTok on Twitter, and you really should, it's a conservative Twitter account, and what Libs of TikTok generally do are follow school teachers that are liberals, and they talk this way from their classrooms when the students aren't there all the time about how they're there to promote this type of thing. And like George Soros polluted our justice system by backing all of these radical state's attorneys and others, our school system has been taken over by the gender confusion of the new wave of teachers who don't view themselves as teachers, but radical activists that have a duty to spread their philosophy to their students more so than teaching them reading, writing, and arithmetic. What do you think about Elon Musk? Someone asked. I love Elon Musk. Elon Musk did something that was just absolutely amazing. He returned the American manned space program to us here in Florida. We did not think about this now. Barack Obama shut down the American manned space program. We couldn't send humans up in space on American rockets. We had to hitch rides with the Russians, right? And look how that would be turning out right now if we still had to depend on that. So Elon Musk is awesome, and he has made us dominant in space again. That's right. So no, I love Elon Musk. Who doesn't? Who other than liberals like Elizabeth Warren, who don't think he pays enough in taxes? That guy pays more in taxes than we can even imagine in our minds. You couldn't. The amount of money that Elon Musk spends on taxes, you could not imagine on pallets in a warehouse. He spends so much money. But other than communist liberals like Elizabeth Warren, who's a millionaire herself, I don't understand why anyone would not like Elon Musk. On top of the fact that Elon Musk, being from South Africa, is the wealthiest African American. So that on its own should be enough for people to... Freedom Soup just got it at the same time. Yeah, he is the wealthiest African American. That's an honor that Oprah Winfrey should be honoring. He should get an award for that. Now, here's another crime video I wanted to show you guys. This is terrible. This is another Walgreens, and this one's even crazier than the other one. This guy's behind the counter where all the expensive stuff are. And these are the two. This is the cashier. This is the manager. And she is on the phone with the police while the crime is happening. Watch this.
This is the store on 25 Lobos. Hey. We have this person that is taking everything from the counter. Yes, please. Can you send it back? Can you send it right away, please?
They came in with a shopping bag.
You want to go?
Hey!
Wow.
No. We don't need that. Whoa.
Okay, man.
Okay. Yeah, I would not recommend that. I mean, you want them out. I know it's got to be a tough thing. You want them to leave. You do not want to confront these people. The guy's completely without fear.
Hey.
That's one of the most insane that I've ever seen. The most insane. I just this is a very, very, very strange situation we're in right now in this country. And I think most of us knew when Biden came into office, it was going to be a tough 4 years and a bad 4 years. But is there anyone who dreamed it would be this bad? Right? I mean, there's just no end to it. And and the thing with the way the government's being run now, this isn't just Biden. This is everyone in the government today that's running this country. Their solution to every problem is to do nothing and let it work itself out. Right? I was talking at the beginning of the stream about the gas prices. Gas in Russia, gas is $1.70 a gallon right now. $1.70 a gallon in Russia. And here, $4, $6, $5. And what are they doing to stop it? They're not doing anything. It'll work itself out. It'll work itself out. The price, the last time, this is higher than even in the last months of GW's administration. The most I paid for gas, I went to a gas station and all they had was super unleaded, and I paid $4.25 for it. I don't remember what regular was. Remember when gas went up real high at the end of GW's term? But we're beyond even that today. And they're not doing anything about it because they don't want us using gas. And, another thing, too, a lot of conservatives, you got to really watch who you're supporting, because there's a lot of people that you think are on our side that are not. And one group that is not on the conservative side that you think is are oil companies. Oil companies are not on our side. Oil companies want oil to be higher in price, right? Because they make more money doing it, right? Oil companies didn't like when President Trump had prices so low. They didn't like that. In fact, I talked to one guy who's a listener who's in the oil business. He owns oil wells in multiple states, and he told me that gas prices were too low because they're not making enough profit on a barrel. They needed to be up a little higher. He wasn't talking about this high, but he was talking like over $3. So oil companies and a lot of oil companies, and it's very possible that oil companies are behind the Sierra Club and all this green crap. It really, I know that sounds crazy to a lot of people, but if you have a product that you want to sell, you want to be able to sell it for as much money as you can, right? You make more profit from less effort. So the oil companies are not happy with $1.50 a gallon. They want it higher and higher and higher. And when you hear the Democrats attacking the oil companies, it's like one of the fakest things. Now there's some, Mayor Pete's pretty stupid. He may not understand what I'm sharing with you, even though he's a Rhodes Scholar. But, Jen Psaki, at that level, they're buddies with the oil companies, and they know it, okay? They know it. Believe me, they know it. Now, this is some good news here. And I'm really glad that this is getting resolved with Madison Cawthorn. By the way, this is a great conservative news website, postmillennial.com. It's a conservative news website out of Canada, but it's mostly American news, even though it's out of Canada. They get a little more in depth on what's going on in Canada with Trudeau and everything that you'll see here But I've been using this as a resource, I don't know, for quite some time, long before the trucker issue came up. And it's postmillennial.com. If you don't know about it, check it out. Now, this is something I'm very glad this turned out this way. Madison Cawthorn, I heard him talk about this a couple weeks ago in Texas on Right Side Broadcasting. Efforts to remove Madison Cawthorn from North Carolina ballots blocked by federal judge. And I'll tell you why this is important in a moment beyond Madison Cawthorn. On Friday, a North Carolina federal judge blocked an effort to keep U.S. Representative Madison Cawthorn off of ballots in North Carolina this midterm election. According to WRAL, Chief District Court Judge Richard Myers said that he wouldn't allow North Carolina's election board to proceed with an inquiry that would have dove into the U.S. representative's alleged role in the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol building. Okay, this was a test case for Trump, okay, what they were doing here. This was a test case for Trump. Because what they're doing with Trump is they're trying to get, this is the purpose of the January 6th committee, okay? The purpose of the January 6th committee is to keep President Trump off the ballot in the 2024 election cycle, both the general election and in primaries. And this is an old Democrat trick, okay? The Democrats kept Lincoln off the ballot in the southern states, and he still won because of the Electoral College. But after the Civil War, I know many of you know about this, there was a law passed after the Civil War that if you took part in an insurrection of the United States, you couldn't hold federal office. And the reason they did that is so that General Lee didn't become president. And it was, it was a law that the Republicans passed to use against Democrats because the Democrats were the Confederates. Jefferson Davis very well could have been a senator again, or maybe even president of the United States. Who knows? But that's and a lot of those Confederate generals lived a long time, and that's why they passed that law. And they want to use that law against President Trump. And the January 6th committee is going to come out with a conclusion. They don't have any criminal powers, but they're going to come out with a conclusion that President Trump took part in an insurrection on January 6th. I mean, that's a known thing. I think most of you agree. And they're going to go to a federal judge that was appointed by Biden, Obama, Clinton. I'm sure there's some Carter judges around. And they want to get some type of indictment against President Trump. This is their plan. Now, they don't need to get a conviction. They don't even need a trial. They just need an indictment. And what they're going to do is they're going to go to some rhino governor in some rhino state, right? Some rat is a Republican against Trump. They're going to use the January 6th committee's ruling that Trump took part in an insurrection, and they're going to find a friendly governor, a friendly secretary of state that oversees an election in that state, and say, well, the January 6th committee found that President Trump took part in an insurrection, plus there's this indictment from this Obama corrupt federal judge over his head for taking part in an insurrection. Therefore, we're going to keep him off the ballot in the state's primary election. And this Madison Cawthorn case was a test to do that. And luckily, it didn't make it. And Madison Cawthorn, I heard him at an event in Texas with Marjorie Taylor Greene on Right Side Broadcasting about 3 weeks ago talking about this. And he seemed concerned about it. He seemed to think it was a possibility. And they were trying to connect him to the January 6th Capitol breach and using that to keep him off the ballot in his reelection in North Carolina. And luckily, this federal judge blocked it. But that was a test case for Trump. And that's what they're going to do. And you know what? They're going to do that with President Trump in 2024 all the way through. They're not going to give up, if through the primary. They're going to use that to try to have a brokered convention, and then they're going to try to keep him off the ballots. When he gets the nomination, if they're not successful at the convention, which they will not be, he will receive the nomination. And when we get into the general election, the Republican establishment, rhino rats, and the Democrats are going to try to keep President Trump off the ballot in the general election in as many states as they can, just like they did with Lincoln in 1860. And Who knows how much success they're going to have on that? It's hard to say, but that's what their plan is. And, this is what they really don't get. This is what they really don't get. President Trump is going to be reelected in 2024. And, of course, he's going to come in with a mandate. His second non-consecutive term, he's going to come in with a mandate. He doesn't have to worry about being reelected. And that mandate is to accomplish his entire agenda, which first will be the wall. President Trump has even said first thing he's going to do is finish the wall. But they should just ride it out. Ride out his second term, and that's it. He can't be president again. That's it. But they can't do it because he's not a part of their club. And, I was talking earlier about the radical school teachers, okay? And we got a lot of problems with radical school teachers. I found this online. This is a teacher in her classroom. I'm the teacher Fox News warns you about. And look at this, what she has in her classroom. All the presidents, and there's President Trump turned upside down. And she took a photograph of this and and put it on social media like it's a good thing. She feels totally confident and comfortable. Nothing's going to happen to her. Her school administration allows her to do it. This hatred of Trump that the radicals have, like this woman, I really don't get it. I really don't get it. If you're a radical, like this woman here, okay, she's probably a Bernie Sanders fan, wouldn't you think? A Bernie Sanders AOC fan. President Trump has a little bit in common with AOC and Bernie Sanders. What AOC and Bernie say, very little, but it's an important thing. Bernie Sanders and AOC will tell you that they don't want corporate interest in politics. That's a big thing. There's too many corporations that have too much power, too much influence over our politicians. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. That's why they're pushing us to war with Russia, is because those corporate interests want to make the money. And by the way, the cable news make money through advertising dollars from that as well. But this woman here, she has more in common politically with President Trump than she realizes. Because President Trump, in first campaign, he doesn't take the big corporate donations, right? He funded his campaign himself and with small individual donations. And he still does that today. The big donors don't have juice with President Trump. And these Bernie Sanders radical liberal types like this, they don't know it. They're just consumed with dysfunction and hate. And this is what I was talking to you earlier, that there has been a big Gen Z millennial takeover of our classrooms. Katina, good morning, Katina. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Oh, man. I got to get my coffee earlier. Any of you guys have this? You get a little behind on your coffee, and it takes a while for it to catch up. I am hooked. I am hooked on this like Hunter is on crack and prostitutes. There's no doubt about it. This has in it 4 shots of espresso. Well, that's a lot of caffeine. If we have to wait until 2024, we're done. America will survive. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And you know what's going to be really tough is the price of things. I mean, the inflation is so out of control right now. And you really got to ask yourself, how high can the price of gas go? Right? This isn't something where it's going to get up to $4.50 a gallon for regular unleaded here, and then, okay, it's going to drop. This is going to keep going and going and going. And an oil embargo against Russia is going to drive gas prices up through the roof, because the Biden administration is not going to up production in this country. There's nothing that they're, Jen Psaki said the other day, well, the Keystone Pipeline would take years to build, or and be functional. You still got to build it. I remember Anwar. When they stopped Anwar during GW's presidency, they said, we wouldn't even have the oil for 10 years. Well, in 10 years, we'll need it. But they are going to drive gas prices up. It's such an interesting thing because, when conservatives and liberals talk about taxes, conservatives tell you, rightly so, that the higher taxes are, the less money spent in the economy, and that's bad for the economy. And liberals say, oh, no, that's great. Gas prices are textbook. It's like a tax. It's a tax without a tax. And no one in this government is doing anything. They could do something immediately today, right? That would help us. If they were serious about controlling gas prices, and this is what it would be. Suspend the federal tax on the gas and call on governors to suspend the state tax on gas. You would see an immediate drop in gas prices. In Florida, it's about 60 cents a gallon is taxed. But in places like California and New York, it's much higher than that. I don't know how much each gallon, your gallon price in your state is taxed, but in some states, it's well over $1 a gallon, okay, just in taxes. But they won't do it because that's their money to pay back their donors with. There's no one is doing anything to lower the price of gas. And the price of gas affects the price of everything because everything is transported by, of course, trucks that use gasoline. And a very, very, very sad reality is we're at a point now where people cannot afford to fill up their tanks of gas. I mean, that's just the way it is. Now, I saw this story. This is also in the Gateway Pundit, which is, I think the Gateway Pundit is my favorite website to go to. I did that. Alabama gas station manager says he's removing 5 or 6 Joe Biden stickers from his gas pumps every day. I've seen these. Have any of you seen these on your gas pumps? I have seen these at Wawa. And I'll tell you, the only person who's doing well in the economy is the guy that's making those stickers.
It's this little sticker that's popping up across gas stations all across North Alabama. It's a picture of Joe Biden, and they place it next to the high dollar signs, and underneath it says, "I did that." And while it might seem like a funny political message to some, it could actually cost the gas stations a fine for vandalism.
I take off five or 6 a day from our different pumps.
I mean, that's oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Who's making those stickers? Yeah, have any of you seen those? Yeah, you've seen them? McKenna Bean, you've seen those? I've seen those stickers too. Now, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And everyone else, please like the video if you're already subscribed. And click that notification bell too. You see one every time you fill up? Well, yeah. I don't see them every time, but I see them every 2, 3, 4 times. I'll see them on the gas pump. And people love them. And you know, this is something about that, okay? That's a nonpartisan thing. There are very few things in this divided America that bring us together like gas prices. High gas prices, everyone hates high gas prices. And it's even, it brings Democrats, Republicans, socialists, communists, it brings us all together as one against whoever the president is, because whoever the president is gets blamed for the high price of gas, even without the sticker. And one thing I see, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but I've seen this, is another thing gas prices do is they bring us together socially, because you see people at gas stations that are talking to people that they don't know that are at the pump across from them. Have you seen this? I mean, do you talk to people at the gas station? Typically, you fill up your car, but now I see people like, oh my goodness, and they're talking to each other, complaining. They don't know each other. They'll never see each other again. So, in a way, Biden's bringing America together against him because of the gas prices, I guess, Well, listen, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for this morning. I will be back tomorrow morning, so make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you click the notification bell and like the video, because that helps me out a lot. My name's Brian Craig. Thanks